Allow me to actually introduce the topic for today. The rule of thumb before, in the past, or back in the day, and when I say back in the day, it's about 10 years ago, and you know how things are very, very fast in this particular industry. Back in the day, when you say customer service, contact center, you go to the Philippines. When you talk about IT and software services, you go to India. That has changed dramatically, and my distinguished panel will more or less help us understand what has happened and what are we trying to do as a country in order to leverage on this and increase our viability and feasibility. So,
for Accenture, well, I think we still need to strive for more, right?
that's 1 week hiring for you guys, right?
We wish we could hire that fast and that plentiful, but I think we still have much more to target. No? I mean, there is still a lot of opportunity for growth, and I think these are really good numbers that we are showing here. But we need to generate more. I think the Filipinos need to recognize, the population that are now picking up college. They have to recognize that IT is a viable career, in this country. When we started off Accenture here in the Philippines, we actually started in 1985 with the belief that we can build IT talent in this country, and I guess because of that, I think we actually were ahead of India, who is very, very big, in terms of doing software outsourcing.
Randy, could you jump in here and actually give us an idea of how many people you're looking at, what prospects of growth? First, explain to us what you're doing, what your company's doing.
Like I mentioned earlier, we're actually into mergers and acquisitions. So my task is to actually incubate companies and bring them up to the world stage in terms of its viability and its marketability. So we got 2 of those startups here happening in Manila. What I mean by that is that we want to actually be another Maria or Rappler, where the IP actually originates from the Philippines and marketed worldwide. So we're kind of aiming to have our software application, which is for the financial industry, to become a world-renowned application specifically for accountants and fund managers worldwide. And we're doing that with the help of the Australian government and to some extent the Philippine government.
So, but if I say the Philippines, what image comes to your mind? I mean, anybody, just give me anything at all. The Philippines, we've met in a place, and you're now, someone saying, oh, the Philippines, what comes to your mind? What's the one thing that you've got that nobody else in the world has got? Happiness. Happiness is good, I like that. I'll go with that. Anything else?
Hospitality.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's the human experience. You have that in lorry loads, more than any other country on the earth. You're like the Irish the Irish are like the blacks of Europe. I don't mean that in negative sense. They've got soul. The Irish love to sing. They also are Catholics, but the Filipinos are the same. They are the soul of Asia, because of this intrinsic spirit that you have it's in your DNA. So if your brand that you've got and you've nurtured for years and years and years, and people are calling that brand via a call center, or they're using software and so forth related to it, does it not follow that your expectations in terms of brand equity is much higher than some people who've outsourced somewhere and they've done it for reasons of cost? So if the Philippines have got the best people, and trust me, there's 160,000 of your countrymen and women in Australia, everybody loves the Filipinos. I don't know what it is. Maybe you sing too much or hard too much. But people really, truly love you. And it's a genuine warmth that people have towards you. For a long time, you have been hiding under your rock. And you've been, hi, I'm shy, I don't want to, You see that all the time. So if you've got the best people, and the new battleground is this customer experience, and you can deliver this customer experience just because of who you are, And if you can develop software programs that make it easier to deliver customer experience, it's more convenient and so forth, then you are already in front of the curve of all of these other mega.
You established a company in Vancouver. You told me a while back that the first choice was actually Singapore between you and your partners.
Yes. Yeah.
Why the Philippines?
Well, definitely there's some other aspects why the Philippines, but I think that it's better for our growth to be in the Philippines. Philippines is actually just emerging, especially that's what I want to talk about in terms of talent. There are some talent, but we are still, in my opinion, are a little bit behind. Okay, I want to look at it at the development perspective, the technical perspective. You know, we have call centers, we have a lot of those here, you know, but in terms of the development perspective, our talent right out of school is still a little bit behind.
So, G, is there anything on the front end that we are doing as an association?
For his immediate needs, there's no immediate solution except really
Cloning.
more.
Cloning.
Yeah, it's really more. What do you call it? Headhunting, recruitment. They're there somewhere.
Yes,
Okay?
you just
But
have to find them.
you have to find them. So it takes a while to find them. But if you're looking medium term, longer term, all the associations are really trying to work towards finding a way to keep the academic curriculum updated, you know, real time. And the way we've seen that, the lasting solution to that is to tie up your companies with the schools.
To your question, how do they perceive the Philippines? We have a lot of work to do in terms of making sure that the Philippines is even in the map or even in the minds of these people.
As far as software and development is concerned, is it true that the trend is changing? They're going more towards the Philippines than originally what was specific to India only. Dr. Barrios, the numbers that you presented a while ago are a bit concerning, to say the least. 33% in terms of technical and then 50% in terms of behavioral. What are the steps that the academic sector is doing to actually improve these numbers?
Then in the early 2000, Telco engaged me and some of my colleagues to do data mining and business analytics for them. And then in 2008, when I assumed the position of the dean, we had a massive curricular review at the graduate program. And in 2009, our Masters of Science in Statistics program already identified business analytics, data mining, risk analytics as among the tracks for our graduate students.
I just want to go back to your question, which was, you know, if we have talent problems and why is the IT industry growing, right? And I think it's because here we sort of mix and match IT. You know, there's development, and then we have the BPO processing, the call centers, and we sort of just mash it into this one big category of IT. That's basically what it is. You know, you can say we can compete with India. We're competing with India when it comes to BPO and call centers, right? We took over their spot as number one.
University where I decided, well, I'll just train them and hire my students. So I'm working on it.
I heard that's a good
I'll
school.
let you know if that works out. Well, I was wondering, is it also maybe a strategy here to bring in some expats, you know, even from Pakistan, India, elsewhere, have them as the middle layer, that talent, and nurture the Indians within the company, but bringing that in because we need kind of that layer. That's where it's missing in the tech industry.
Did you jump in?
For the middle management gap, and we admit there's a gap. Yes, I think we've been bringing in expats a lot from India, US, Australia. And the thing is, what we like to say is they don't mind moving to the Philippines. And it's hard to get rid of them. They won't leave.
Josephine, I think there's a program in government that more or less enhances this, right? The transfer of knowledge from a specialist going to the local talent. Is that correct? So I guess what we could take away from this discussion, aside of the fact that I know that I could see very hungry faces in the audience right now, is that culturally we are well positioned to actually welcome new businesses coming in, but it's more than just smiling. So there are certain gaps that we have identified in the discussion this morning, and I guess the companies, the private sector, government, the specialists have all bonded together to actually address this gap, including the academe, of course. So hopefully it gets better. I've been here for more than a decade and I've seen things moving in the right direction. And I guess we're very well on our way to 5 billion target of the Philippine Software Industry Association. And with that, I would like to thank my panelists for this morning. Once again, please, a round of applause for our Secretary Dr. ERNIEL BARRIOS of the Institute of Statistics, GIGI VIRATA, IBPAP Senior Executive Director, Mr. Martin CONBOY, the Middle Australian, also the SOS NEWSWIRE Director, Mike Martinez from 3AG Business Solutions, Randy PRADO from ESTANSAAS, and WINSTON CRUZ, Senior Executive of ACCENTURE.